Welcome back. This week, you get to choose from 2 amazing sculptural books. Now, these eventually, after 2 weeks of working, are going to turn in to your own personal story about the events that are going on right now. But for this week, we're just going to focus on the construction part of this project. You have 2 choices, a square, and we call these sculpture books because they open up into cool shapes. Woo! And then fold right back into a book. You can set them up on a table so they make all kinds of crazy creative patterns. And I hope you guys are ready to start because that's what we're gonna do. All right, we are gonna start out with a perfectly square piece of paper. I'm using paper that's colored on one side just so you can see what I'm doing. And I'm starting with a diagonal fold. And you'll notice for each fold I make, I do it both directions. And that is really important for this lesson. When we fold the paper really well and line it up and then crease it, that's called scoring. So you can use your fingernail or scissors to make sure that that bend is really in there. Again, I'm going both directions and I'm flipping it over. So 1 diagonal fold, and then I want to do 2 horizontal folds, 1 in each direction. So I'm going to end up with 2 horizontal folds and 1 diagonal, just like that, an X with a line through it. Now, here's where it gets a little tricky, but you're going to make your paper into a diamond, and you're going to point that diamond tip up. And you'll see I put my finger in the middle because I'm kind of scrunching the paper towards the middle. I want to grab that horizontal fold, and I want to start pinching the insides. I've got my fingers behind it. So you can see I'm pinching the insides with my fingers behind it, and I'm pulling those 2 lines, I'm pinching and pulling them in towards the center of the diamond. So there it goes. You can see it coming together, and then I just stick my fingers in there, and it kind of comes down like a party hat, and you're going to end up folding a diamond onto both sides. Now this is the trickiest part, but once you know how to do this, you can make the whole book. Because you just have to get 2 or 3 more squares of paper the same size and do the same fold again. So you'll see here I'm doing that with a couple different pieces of paper. And this book, what we're going to end up doing is stacking our 3 little, I call them like chompers because they look like little mouths to me. So you want to align them when you're done making your 3. You're going to line them up so that all the mouths are pointing the same direction. All the openings are the same direction, and you're going to stack them on top of each other when you're done. 1, 2, and you'll see here I'm going to make my 3rd one. And once you have that 3rd one all done, you'll stack that too. Now I used a glue stick when I glued these together. Elmer's glue might just leave some wrinkles in it, but I still wanted to make sure I got that glue all the way to the edge on each part of that. And there you can see I'm stacking that one. Again, make sure the openings are all on the same side, otherwise it won't quite work. You want to smooth that glue out if you get any clumps on, otherwise it'll be bumpy in the middle, and when you go to do your art it'll be a little hard. I would not recommend origami paper because it is thin. I would use the thickest paper you have. So now I'm making a cover. You can use covered cardboard. I think cereal box material works great if you cover that up. It's a real nice consistency, and it's not too thick, but it's also not too thin. You can use other creative things that you find too for a cover, and I'm just wrapping this up like a present. I loved this plaid material. I'm gonna give you guys a little spoiler for next week's lesson, but you guys are gonna make some pandemic journals, and because we've all got a lot of feelings about this, and this is like a huge moment in history that we're gonna want to be able to share to our nieces and nephews, and maybe even someday your kids. So we want to have a really nice visual and written testament of what we were going through. So after I get those wrapped, I'm going to put glue on those. Now you'll notice I switched to Elmer's glue, and I'm using my cardboard squeegee. That's just because I want a stronger glue for this cardboard than a glue stick. Glue sticks work well for paper, not so much so for others. All right, now we're gonna move on to pattern 2. This is your second choice. You only have to do one. This one might be a little easier, but I think both are easy if you give them a chance. So I'm gonna fold a large rectangle into 16 sections, and that just means I have to fold it in half, then fold it in half again. Again, I don't have to score these as much as the first one because I'm not going to do any origami folds on this journal. I'm actually just doing these folds so that I can get even lines on it. And after I do the horizontal folds, I'm going to fold it vertically, and I'm going to fold it vertically twice. That's going to make 16 sections when I open this all back up. So here I am, I'm unfolding it, and I am going to draw with my pen now a spiral. You can start at any of the corner squares on the inside of those, and you're just gonna spiral it in, and you'll kind of see how to do that. Now I'm gonna cut along that spiral line that I made, and that goes pretty quick. So I'm just gonna stay as close to that fold as I possibly can. And the more carefully you guys do your folds and your cuts, the smoother your book will sit. So now what I'm going to do is an accordion fold, which hopefully you learned how to do a while ago, and it's just over, under, and I'm going to follow the pattern of this book, or this spiral. Of course, you guys are always welcome to look up your own sculptural book patterns online, but you can see how that unfolds into a really nice pattern. All right, stay creative. See you next time.